insanely epic.
We are back to being non-musicians.
Yes.
Actually, we never were musicians, but at least some people believed we were.
Nobody believed me. Well, I wasn't. So
yeah, that's true. Well, at NAB we had quite a community of fans already.
Yeah.
And we didn't have enough blood with us. So, no CDs.
no blood.
Terrible disappointment.
No. Well, should make cameras anyways. Music.
Yeah. Change of plans. Last team talk was already very long. The first team talk was already pretty long. So to complete the series, we should actually make this team talk at least feature film length.
But we break it up into several parts, so
the problem is our camera doesn't have enough storage space.
Yes.
So
We can-
what else should we do than make them short clips instead?
if you want to send us storage space, please do. We need it desperately.
No, the plan is we create one video per topic and release that as a self-contained article and release these kinds of articles more often.
Exactly. All right. Well, first we give you an overview of what we will talk about. We'll talk about the current status of the beta and the estimated time of arrival.
Yeah, lots of emails we got about that, of course.
Angry emails, also
Almost.
happy emails.
Lots of happy emails.
Great.
Yeah, then we
Give a short introduction of the OpenCine program that is currently in development.
the raw development video suite as open source, of course. We had a very successful EU EU project KickOff meeting with all partners coming together in Vienna and discussing and eating cake and
I'm sure you saw the article
yes,
on the website.
exactly. Then we will also share some behind the scenes footage from the AXIOM birth room.
Birth room. Sounds disgusting. Yeah. Short update on the NAB where you attended.
We also ran an article, but even more secrets and stories. And quick update on Gamma development or upgrade path, for example. And I think that's it for the next set of videos that we will release over the next couple of weeks in easily digestible pieces.
Delicious.
Okay, let's start with number one.
The status on beta manufacturing.
Yeah, that's the hottest topic right now, I guess, considering the amount of emails we have received. And as you have noticed, we are still having delays, unfortunately. We're very sorry, but it's just taken a little bit longer than originally anticipated, also because we made quite some changes to the technical architecture and redesigned some things so they are more powerful, more flexible, more feature-rich. But we would have loved to get the cameras out already months ago, basically.
Who wouldn't?
But I hope that the additional functionality and the additional time it takes is in the sense of most crowdfunding backers.
Yeah.
Please provide feedback. If you say, stop it, don't make any additional features, just ship the camera, it's also appreciated, at least to know.
But it would be shipped featureless. So
No, just not as feature rich. Yeah, but as we promised, the different stages the beta will be released in, we will share exactly what the stage currently is, or what it can and can't do. And now it has come to the first stage, which is kind of the development stage, but already in a larger developers crowd, so to say.
yes.
So the first batch of the AXIOM beta will already be ready for order pretty soon, hopefully. And the outline of what it will do or won't do is it's targeting developers only, mainly, primarily. Because, for example, it doesn't have an enclosure yet.
No, though our CNC mill is up and running steadily.
Yeah. Some parts are already milled for the device, but it's not a real enclosing enclosure. It's just holding the pieces together, basically.
The design is not really set in stone yet.
Yes. So for development and for testing, for hardware, software extension, this should be perfectly fine. But if you want to take the camera surfing or fly it with a drone, maybe that's not the right time right now.
You can try.
Yeah, as soon as there's an enclosure to add, of course, you could get that later on as an add-on, of course, as well, at cost. But currently the package that we deliver is without enclosure. The lens mount we have on the Beta is an E-mount, very short flange focal distance. So there are a lot of adapters like Canon adapter, Nikon adapter, PL adapter, Micro Four Thirds. I think that's in a similar distance as the E-mount. So that will follow later on. And even though we have the electronic parts that connect to the lens electronically, they are not interfaced to the camera yet. So that would also be something that will be added later on. So no lens control yet, no electronic lens control. The image pre-processing board that is between the sensor front end and the Beta board is kind of an interim solution currently. It only connects half the lanes from the sensor. So that has two impact parts. The first is that you can only do a maximum frame rate of 150 frames per second instead of the 300 that the sensor could provide, which is not a big issue because that's not the speed we can store the data currently anyway. But it also means you can't rotate the sensor board by 180 degrees as it would be possible later on. So no matter how you align the camera, if you want to have the high-speed modules on the left side or the right side, you could swap the sensor, but that's currently not possible. But you can also swap out the image pre-processing board later on at cost. But that's the limitation currently. And the power supply currently works with 5 volts straight. Planned is a pretty wide input range, between 4 and 36 volts, if I remember correctly. But currently the Beta requires 5 volts provided. And the problem is that also most AC plugs don't provide enough current. So currently we need 2 AC plugs both providing 5 volts. Maybe we will, until the Beta ships to developers, add another board that already takes care of the voltage conversion for that wide input range, but that's not finished yet. The next thing is in terms of output modules. What we will definitely have is a single HDMI output module, so limited to 1080p 60 at max. We might already have the triple HDMI output module that we also promised in crowdfunding. If it's not ready yet for shipping, you can at any time get it later on at cost again, but the single one will definitely be ready, the triple one maybe. What we'll also definitely have for development is a PMOD debug module as plug-in module. And what also...
Will this also be plugged into the shields?
The shields are on the front.
The modules.
The modules are on the back, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly the place.
What I meant.
Yes. And what we'll also likely create is a debug module with the LED matrix. Maybe you've seen that on the Alpha with the blinking lights at the back. That's useful if you do FPGA development or debugging. Yeah, that will also most likely exist. As we mentioned, it will be CME 12,000 only currently, which I guess is not a big problem because pretty much everyone wanted that sensor anyway.
Except for these 3 other people. Sad.
We are still making other sensor front ends as well for the 16mm one, but it will be done later on.
Yes.
We have no internal infrared UV cutoff filter, so you need an external one screwed to your lens. As we explained with the power board and the pre-processing board, swapping sensors is currently not plug and play, which might not be a problem, but we want to say it. You have to manually configure the power board and ensure proper functionality on a technical level first. And also the Beta main board is a kind of an interim solution, or not completely feature complete. And that means that the shields, as you mentioned earlier before, cannot receive flexible routed data. We explained in the last team talk, we will have small FPGAs on the Beta main board where you can select how the data is routed from to where and which locations, and that's not implemented yet. That's it for now. We will soon have a web shop set up. We will invite the first 100 backers from the first batch to make the purchases. You don't have to purchase right away. You can decide to wait until the hardware is more mature. But if you want to already get your hands on early, start development right now, that's the thing or the first occasion where you can do so.
If you back the project later on and you want early beta.
Exactly. If you are in a later batch but still want an early beta, we will just fill up the empty or the open slots with people from the second batch, people from the third batch, until we have a complete batch to produce.
I'm sure that in the first batch there are several people who don't want this bare bone version.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah. We will send everyone an email with the invitation to purchase. The web shop is currently being set up and optimized. Not everything's working right now, but it should be up and running soon. I think that's it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email us, and we will be happy to answer anything, everywhere, anytime.
Great. Well, thank you for watching.